Welcome to my review of solving radical equations. Today we're going to solve the equation radical 3x plus 2 plus 4 equals 6. Now remember a couple of things. First of all, when you solve an equation, you're trying to isolate the variable ultimately. But before we can isolate the variable, we're going to have to isolate the radical. So that's what we're going to work towards first. So my first step will be to subtract 4 from each side of the equation. That leaves me with the square root of 3x plus 2 equals 2. Now that my radical is isolated, I can now work on trying to pull out the 3x plus 2. Now remember, 3x plus 2, the mathematical term, it's called the radicand. And because I'm taking the square root of 3x plus 2, I can undo that by squaring it. And that's called using the inverse operations. Now remember, if I were taking the cube root of 3x plus 2, I would undo that by using its inverse operation of cubing it. But this problem is a square root, so we're going to square both sides. Because remember, what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Now after I square both sides, my 3x plus 2 is able to come out from under the radical sign. And I have 3x plus 2 equals 2 squared, which is 4. Now I am left with a two-step equation. I will subtract 2 from each side, which leaves me 3x equals 2. And then I will divide each side by 3, and that will give me my solution of x equals 2/3. Okay, now when solving radical equations, sometimes we get what is called an extraneous solution. Now, we always should check our work. But when it comes to radical equations, it is especially important that we check our work, because that's how we will discover whether or not the answer, the solution we got, is truly indeed the solution. So here we go. I'm going to take my original equation of the square root of 3, and instead of x, I'm going to put in my solution of 2/3. So I have the square root of 3 times 2/3 plus 2, and then plus 4, and it should equal 6. Now the square root of 3 times 2/3, well 3 times 2/3 is 6/3, which is 2. So basically, I have the square root of 4 plus 4, and that should equal 6. Well, the square root of 4 is 2, and if you add that to 4, you indeed get 6. So the solution that I came up with is indeed the correct solution. I hope this tutorial, this review helped you, and I look forward to working with you again soon. Bye-bye.